you, because this is the purpose of the video, helping you pick the right shoe for your next 10K, half marathon, marathon event. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. Today is the final day of the Advent calendar, 24 days leading up to Christmas. And here we are, the last day is supposed to be something a bit special, like in many Advent calendars. So I have for you the 2021 carbon data time. We had a carbon data time for Q1, Q2, Q3. You can go check the playlist here, upper right hand corner. And now we have the wrap for the whole year. All the plated shoes that released in 2021 and that I managed to either buy or get from different partners. I think this video is also relevant because many updates to these shoes are not coming to the market before summer or even fall. So you can still purchase these, and all of them are really good shoes. Now let's look a bit more into details. Let's go through the specs, the data. The lightest shoe that we had this year is the Puma DV8 Elite, 205 grams, very lightweight. The heaviest here on the table is the Alphafly Next Nature at 306 grams. The Prime X was quite heavy as well. Other light shoes include the Takumi Sen 8, 208, the Metaspeed Sky 213, the Vaporfly 2, 219. So this is a bit for the weight. Geometer scores, you love the geometer scores, I do love them as well. The softest midsole, again, DV8 Elite here. 21 I think on the geometer scale, very low, very soft midsole, nitrogen infused PIBA, one and only on the market. And I think the firmest ride here is on the Cloudboom Eco, quite firm, at least the clouds, the green part, the green layer underneath, and then the Helion midsole is a bit softer, but overall here is the firmest and the highest numbers in terms of geometer score. Let's check quickly the different width that we had. The widest, and by quite a margin, is the Alphafly Next Nature. Very wide platform and lots of inherent stability thanks to that. Narrow shoes include the Endorphin Speed, Endorphin Pro, the X-Step 160X 2.0 and the Takumi Sen 8. Of course, all of these shoes have dedicated reviews on the channel, so go check the different videos available on the channel and you will find the dedicated reviews for all of these shoes. All right, now let's look at some of the different metrics that I gather for all the shoes. First of all, I think it would be interesting to discuss stability, so pronation velocity. On which shoes did I have very high values? Vaporfly, very high pronation velocity. Takumi Sen 8, same here. And again, I know you probably know it because I repeat it time and time again, but pronation is not a bad thing, and it's actually a good protection mechanism. So it has to be taken into account, because if you have some stability issues, shoes with high pronations for me may translate to high pronation for you. And so you may want to, consider this aspect, but pronation as such is not a bad thing. So high pronation on the Vaporfly, on the Takumi Sen 8, quite a high pronation as well on the Endorphin Speed 2, and then low pronation values, very low on the Prime X, quite surprising because everyone would think that with the very high stack height, 50 millimeters in the heel, you would have a ton of pronation, but it's a very stable ride. Very stable ride as well on the Craft CTM Race Rebel right here, black, so you may not really distinguish it, all the details, but quite stable ride. Also quite stable on the Adios Pro 2. The Alphafly is stable because it has a wide platform, but there is a bit of collapsing, less here on the Nature version with that recycled Zoom X, but I wouldn't call it a very stable ride as such. RC Elite was actually a stable ride for me as well, despite the very soft foam. So here you go for pronation. Pronation velocity is similar and very high pronation velocity, so the angle at which you pronate on the Vaporfly, on the Takumi Sen. Then let's look at leg pounding. All these metrics, as you know, are collected with my RunScribe pods. Some of you are asking in the comments, so there you go. RunScribe pods to collect all the different running metrics. Leg pounding, not too much of it on the Prime X, on the RC Elite V2, quite contained as well on the Artist and on the Alphafly. You know, it makes some sense that more stack heights, and especially here with all the very fancy foams, leg pounding is contained. The more stack you have, the more the leg pounding is contained. I think that I had some high values for leg pounding on the Skechers Speed Freak and on the Cloudboom Eco. So these two had quite high values for leg pounding. Now let's go through some categories and let's see which shoe may be right for you, because this is the purpose of the video, helping you pick the right shoe for your next 10K, half marathon, marathon event. So Cadence runners, I would tend to recommend something like, Vaporfly Adios Pro would work very well, performance-wise as well. Some Cadence runners, meaning that you have a very high turnover at higher paces, may also want to try the little sister brother of the Metaspeed Sky, the Metaspeed Edge, which I don't have here, but that could be an option for you, Cadence runners, depending on the distance. Endorphin Pro may work for Cadence runners depending on the foot strike, but that's here an idea for you. Stride runners, so people increasing the stride length with higher paces. You know, Alphafly would work, RC Elite V2 would work, Metaspeed Sky would work, but then, you know, Vaporfly could work as well, Adios Pro 2 could work as well, CTM Race Rebel could work as well. So different options here for you, stride runners. Heavier runners, you know, Alphafly would make a lot of sense, Metaspeed Sky would make quite some sense. I would maybe recommend the Wave Rebellion for heavier runners, but yeah. If you like a soft ride, you could really look at the DV8 Elite, at the RC Elite V2. You could consider the Alphafly if you like a soft ride with some stability, with some weight and stable platform, wide platform. You could look into it. That's for, and of course, Endorphin Speed. It's not a carbon plate, it's a nylon plate, but it's a soft ride. If you like a firmer ride, you can definitely go look at the Cloudboom Eco, at, in a certain way, the Endorphin Pro, because it's way firmer than, it's a bit firmer than the Endorphin Speed, but it's not the firmest ride at all here. Wave Rebellion has quite a firm ride. Speed Freak has quite a firm ride as well. So these are the firm rides. If you're looking for a great durability in terms of outsole, in terms of compression of the foam, I think you can look at the Cloudboom Eco again. Outsole wear would be very good on the Prime X, quite good on the RC Elite V2, excellent on the Wave Rebellion. Probably the best outsole in terms of grip and durability here is the Wave Rebellion. So that's for durability and grip. Compression of the midsole is tricky because there are different families of midsoles here. I think the Cloudboom Eco will not compress as much as, for instance, Zoom X on the Vaporfly or Alphafly, or even Fuel Cell on the RC Elite V2. But same here, all these shoes, at least for me testing many shoes, do not have a ton of mileage, so I cannot assess them after 400 miles, 500 miles. But I can imagine that a bit firmer foams, like here on the Wave Rebellion or on the Cloudboom Eco, will not compress as much and you will get a longer lifespan out of them. What shoe would I recommend for a first marathon? That's, I think, one of the questions that is asked a lot of times in the comments. For a first marathon, I think you can really look at the RC Elite V2. It's a stable ride, friendly ride. It has some leg protection. You will not have the same level of fatigue thanks to that softer foam. and still you have some nice performance, energy return. Endorphin Speed, first marathon, I think could be a nice pick here with the Endorphin Speed. Of course, you know, Vaporfly I think is a friendly shoe for a first marathon because it has really some leg protection and you will not encounter the same fatigue level, the same leg pounding as on some other shoes. But it's a bit more demanding, it's a bit more aggressive, so be aware of that. I think I would also recommend the Craft CTM Race Rebel for a first marathon. Very stable ride. Overall, you know, it's also a good transition from non-plated shoes with which you may have raced half marathon, 10K before, or even a marathon, and you want to have a first experience with a plated shoe for a marathon. This could be a good pick. But other than that, yeah, RC Elite V2, Endorphin Speed, maybe the Vaporfly. Prime X is a bit more tricky because it requires some attention throughout the race because of that higher stack. So yeah, performance-wise, what would I pick for a marathon, a half marathon? I would most likely stick with my previous choice, which is the Vaporfly. But, you know, I may be open to some other shoes, especially for the marathon. I may consider the Alphafly. I raced in it at the Duathlon World Championships this year. The Prime X is tempting for a marathon because efficiency-wise, it's really good for me. And the leg protection is amazing on it. So this could also come into play. Now quickly, let's do a fun one, which is most underrated shoe here on the table. And I would tend to say that one of the underrated shoe here is the Cloudboom Eco. Yes, it's a firm ride. Yes, it's different from the other shoes, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I think it's slightly underrated, but it's also too expensive for what it is. So when discounted, I believe this shoe may have more success. I think the CTM Race Rebel is also quite underrated, and the whole CTM line at Craft as well. And yeah, I think these are the two underrated shoes here. I hope this sort of overview of 2021 carbon plated shoes was interesting, useful. If you have questions, don't hesitate, drop in the comments, let me know. If you enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, interesting, like the video, it helps both the video and the channel to be promoted and to grow. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this next year in 2022. I wish you all a great holiday season. Enjoy your run today, enjoy your ride, go beyond your limits, and most importantly, take care. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.